Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small, the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Coming to you live from a hotel room in Irvine, California. I'm out here for a quarterly business meeting, a group of business owners that I hang out with, and I wanted to come here today and talk to you about this thing that actually came up at the meeting today. Before I do that, though, I want to remind you, if you have any questions or help or want to talk about estate planning or probate or basically anything else, you can do that with me for free by going to estatemeeting.com. All right, go there, you see my calendar, sign up, or we'll talk, estatemeeting.com. Okay, so I was having a conversation today with a guy that I just met. His name is David, and he was asking me what I did. I said, I'm an estate planning and probate attorney. I own a law firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. He's like, oh, what's that? I'm like, oh, we do wills. We do trusts. We help people protect their family. We help people avoid estate taxes sometimes. We help people avoid probate. And he's like, oh, okay, so do you help people after they die? And I said, yeah, that's the probate part. And I said, if we do things correctly on the estate planning side, we personally, my clients, hopefully they don't even need a probate attorney. And he's like, oh, we were talking, and it became clear to me pretty quickly that he was under the assumption that probate was a bad thing, like it was something that you are punished for, or that people have to be fighting for there to be a probate. And whenever somebody says something like that, it always sort of sparks me like, oh, hey, this is something I probably need to talk about because it's probably something that someone is thinking. And I wanted to get on here and talk, a little bit about what probate is, what it does, so that right? And first things first, probate is not something that's done all the time when people are fighting. You don't have to be fighting at all to need a probate. Probate is literally the process of transferring one person's assets to someone else. There are sort of two classic examples of this. Example number one would be if you died and you had a bank account and the bank account wasn't directed to anyone in particular. The bank is not going to release that money until you have opened a probate and until somebody has been put in charge of your estate. Okay? Once that happens, that person can access those funds and deliver them to the people that you have either directed them to via your will or that the state has directed it to via something called intestate succession. Typically, it's going to be spouse first, then your kids. And by the way, as I roll through this is if they're not around. So if you don't have a spouse, to your kids. If you don't have kids, to your parents. If you don't have parents, to your siblings. If you don't have siblings, to your nieces and nephews. And there's two more steps down the line. But if you've gotten that far, that's pretty far. So that's probate. Another example that comes up often is real estate. So your parents own a home or you own a home and you pass away. You want it to go to somebody in particular, or it's not directed to go to anyone in particular. You have to open a probate to be able to either transfer that property or sell that property and then distribute the proceeds. Okay? Very often, in fact, in all of the probates that I do, there is no contention. Nobody's mad at each other. Nobody's angry. There's simply this property that exists that needs to be transferred to the right person. Within the course of that probate, you're going to do some other things to make sure that nobody has to pay any more bills in the future. Maybe do a couple of other things depending on what's going on. But essentially, probate is not a confrontational sort of activity in most circumstances. Okay? And, by the way, as a little side note, in Washington State, probate actually isn't terribly difficult. There often can be no court involved for you or for whoever's involved in the probate. Particularly if there is no contention, there often isn't any court involved for you, and sometimes for the attorneys. And it just takes time. It takes work. It's a process. That's why I do my best to help my clients avoid probate, so they don't have to pay for the attorney's fees for the work. They don't have to pay the filing fees. They don't have to take the time and expense of going through that process. Everything just transfers to the people it's supposed to, sort of automatically and easily. Okay? So, hopefully, if you were worried about probate or scared about the probate process, your fears have been alleviated. If, however, there is some contention involved, if there's a question about the validity of the will or any other stuff like that, it's going to be more time consuming. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to be a much harder and longer process. So if that's you, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am. Okay? That's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you know someone that needs to hear this, please share it with them. If you have a question or comment, please leave it. if you are listening someplace where you can subscribe and you want to get sort of alerted to future videos and audios, if you're listening to this audio, then hit that subscribe button. That's it. Thank you for your time. I'm Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. We do it well. Once again, if you want to talk more about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, please go to estatemeeting.com. You can set up a time to talk with me over the phone or in person for free. estatemeeting.com. Thank you so much for your time, for everything, for listening, for your attention. Hopefully this helped you out. And if you're interested in more stuff, I'll probably be here again tomorrow.